Hey, 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 what's happening? What's happening? It is a good day to be alive. It is a good day to just enjoy the benefits of living and to be free from addiction. I am glad to be with you today. I am glad to be called to help individuals that are suffering from the trappings of addiction, the chains of addiction, the being under control of addiction. I know what it's like to to experience the effect of being affected by addiction. In my personal life, I have so many family members that have lost the battle of addiction, lost the battle. And uh, I believe that it has destroyed countless individuals, countless lives, especially Christians uh, that have an God given ability to live beyond this thing called addiction and learning how to be free and stay free. It can be a life changing experience. And so my life has uh, been beautiful. I have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful testimony, story to tell. I have a marvelous life free from addiction. My mom dealt with addiction. My grandfather dealt with addiction, and several of my aunts and uncles died from addiction, including my mom. My mother died from addiction, and uh, I've seen it just destroy lives. And it came trying to, what I want to say, influence me. Uh, I had uh, probably like most people, just wanted to be a part of the group, wanted to be accepted, wanted to be, wanted people to like me, and wanted people to, enjoy being around me. And I had friends, and when those friends started drinking, uh, I started drinking because I wanted to fit in, and I remember I'll never forget this. The very first time that I experimented with marijuana, my cousin came to Virginia. He from North Carolina, a cousin that I really really respect, and a cousin that I looked up to, and I wanted to be like. And he asked me when we were sitting in the car. It was a I believe it was a Sunday. We were sitting in the car, and I don't know if it was that Sunday or that a Saturday. That's what it was. It was that Saturday. We were sitting in the car, and he exposed me to it. He gave me some marijuana, and I had a terrible experience. I was around the age of 14, and it was like uh, the influences that he had, the influences that I had, the family, all of the it was just the grace of God that at that age I didn't just start going in the direction of marijuana and drinking and getting drunk and all of that. It was it was a bad experience. But then the next time that I had an experience with it, not with marijuana, but with I guess you can say marijuana. I was singing, and I had a boisterous career, and we were in New York City, and we were the group was together, and we were pretty much a wholesome group. We weren't really partiers or things like that. We were all musicians, and we were recording for someone in New York City, and the person that we were recording for, he began to roll a blunt, but back then it wasn't called a blunt; it was a joint. And the joint that he was rolling, he put cocaine in it, and he uh, said, gave the gesture, "Come on over, come on, let's take, let's get high." And my heart skipped a beat, and I sat on the bench, and I said, I don't know, the thought came to me. I believe it was God speaking to me. If you go in there, you will never come out the same way again. And at that time, I quit the group. I stopped singing, and shortly after that, I went on a total different path, and that was in 1992, and I have not looked back. My life now is spent helping individuals improve their lives now and then in the life to come. And I know that God can redeem and God can restore. I know that God can change lives. And so that's why I am a believer that the influence of uh, drugs and alcohol can rob you of life on this side. And I'm here to teach how to build a defense against addiction. Practical ways of how to build a defense against addiction. Addiction, I'm telling you, is running rampant. And it's so influential that the government is deciding, different states are deciding to just fall in line with whatever addiction you have. So people are addicted to drinking. So long time ago, they fell in line with it and said, "Well, we're just going to make money. If people gonna drink anyway, we're gonna go on and make money." And then they legalized making alcohol. Let me say it that way. And now we're going through this same process. We're legalizing marijuana. Marijuana today is not a safe bet, safe for individuals. Matter of fact, I want to say it was never safe. But it's a different strand. It will destroy your life. It'll make you dependent on something external because you're trying to get something internal to take place. Notice what I'm saying. It says you have to use something externally to give you the ability to do something internally. My uncle, when I was 16, he introduced me to drinking. And in introducing me, he was telling me that I want you to do something, and I was scared. He said, if you drink this, it's liquid courage. It'll make you give you the confidence to do it. Do you understand that? So he was introducing me to drinking as a way to have confidence. So from that point on, I would relate between my confidence. All I need is something to drink. See, that's the trickery. That's the tactics of the adversary. My uncle was sweet. He only wanted the best for me, but he only knew how to introduce, what he thought was fun, what he thought was a way of life. His way of life, he tried to introduce it to me. And his way of life was, it was drowning your sorrows, getting your enjoyment, having whatever you want in life. It can start with a Michelob, a Schlitz malt liquor. Everyone, if you have a funeral, let's get drunk. If you're going to have a birthday, let's get drunk. If we're going to have a celebration for 4th of July, let's get drunk. Christmas, I'm going to get drunk. And that was just a lifestyle. And so he was trying to teach me to depend on something external that will allow you to do something or experience something or feel something internal. That's the trick. That's the trick. It gets you at that moment to think that you need something in order to have something. You need something like a drug. You need the food. You need the only way you can calm down is you need the cigarette. The only way you can deal with this stress is you need a blunt. The only way you can cope with life is you can't live without this particular drug. Despite all of the catastrophic things that happen, You still have to go after it. And I want you to know that is evil. If something in your life is not producing positive outcomes and you still have to do it, if you have let's say you every time you drink, you become angry and mean. I had some uncles that were that way. And you do things and say things that you shouldn't say. And once you become sober, you don't even remember what you said. And the consequences for what you said is catastrophic in your life. I had some family members that chose to drink and drive. And when they chose to drink and drive, they had an accident and murdered. They killed someone and went to prison because they killed someone. And after they got out of prison, that individual started drinking again. That is evil, because the uncle that tried to introduce that to me was that uncle. That he was that uncle. Why would you introduce to me something that is so catastrophic to your life? I'm telling you, it's evil. It takes your mind and it takes the minds of others, and it's transferred through relationships. Now, I want to say this. My uncle was nice. He had a good heart. He just didn't know what he was in, the influence that he had was trying to influence my life. And now I'm spending the rest of my life helping others to be free from addiction and to live a successful life that contributes positively to society. But most of all, if you get it all the way down, I want every person to know Jesus Christ as their Savior and Lord, because the only thing that will last forever is a relationship with God. So, how do you build a defense against addiction? How do you do it? Listen, the best thing to build a defense against addiction is knowledge on the inside. It is knowledge. With my children, one of my daughters, when she was young, I wanted to, protect her from, let me call it, the riffraff of the world. And so I kept telling all of my children when they were very young, especially my daughter, when she was very young, I kept telling her, you're beautiful, you're wonderful, you're smart, you're talented, you're special. I hugged her. I gave her attention. So when she was older and she was in college, one of the basketball players from her at her school, tried to, speak to her, tried to, woo her, so to speak. And that the basketball player said, well, told her, I think you look good, girl. And she looked over and was like this, I know I do. My daddy told me that. See, what I was doing was building on the inside the influence, giving her self-confidence, giving her knowledge about her beauty and her value, so that when some riffraff show up, I don't even know if he was just a riffraff, but what I'm saying, so when someone shows up, they got to come more than with a rap game. They have to have character. They have to keep their word. They have to be a person of honor. I mean, because I knew that I wasn't when I was younger, but I strived to be that in front of her, because I wanted to protect all of my children, not only her, but all of my kids, from the riffraffs of life. But the best way to protect them from the riffraffs of life was not to just say, don't do this. it was to do what I wanted them to do. It was to display this character in front of them so that it'll get in them, and then it will automatically repel anything less than who they are on the inside. You know, I was listening to someone. I don't know who I was listening to. I was listening to someone, and they gave the concept that there are different types of repellents. One was a repellent that you would spray on the flower, and it will repel the flies, bugs, keep it from getting on the flowers, outside flowers. And then he said, but when it rained, the repellent would come off. And when the repellent came off, then you would have to respray the flower. And he said, and that was one price, kind of cheap. But then he said, but there was another that if you sprayed it, it would get into the pores of the flower, and it would go all the way down to the roots, and it would become a lasting repellent from the inside of the flower. So even when it rained, it couldn't wash it away. Listen. The best way to have a defense from addiction is to get a new conviction on the inside. On your inside. If you get a conviction on your inside, a reason to live free from addiction and develop the lifestyle of abstinence, it will defend against situations and influences of addiction. So, first one I want you to know. Number one, every day, this will help you build this lifestyle. Every day, just make adjustment. I'm going to pray every day when I get up. And I'm going to pray that the Lord will be my defense. That's what I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray that the Lord will be my defense. Now what scripture can you pray? Isaiah chapter 31, verse 5. This is what it says. You got to pray. Listen to this. As birds flying, so will the Lord of hosts defend Jerusalem. What does Jerusalem mean? It represents his chosen people. God will defend you when you believe in him. Listen to what it says. He says, defending also, hear this, he will defend and deliver. And watch this, and passing over, he will preserve it. So God will defend you, God will deliver you, and God will preserve you. That's building a defense. You can't do that. See, I want to say this. Listen, addiction is spiritual. It's not physical. It's spiritual. Why is it spiritual? Because you can't see it. And anything you can't see is spiritual. So if you attack it from a natural perspective, you will be defeated by something you can't see. But if you serve your God can do things that you can't do naturally. So what you do is you go to your God so he can defend you in the spirit realm, the unseen place. Oh, he can reveal to you what to do and what not to do. That's how you accomplish things. That's how you defend yourself. Now, I want you to understand this. Remember, I said that you gotta have something on the inside. Something on the inside. Now, this is what it is. Understand, number 2, understand the difference between values and goals. Values and goals. Every person needs to know their values And they also need to understand their goals. Values are, hear this, lasting. They're lasting. Goals can be accomplished. Values typically are spiritual. It's unseen. It's convictions. It's belief. It's what I really want or I care about most of all. What do I value? Now, my values will cause me to set some goals. And the goals that I set will dictate how I behave to go towards those goals. So my values should be first, spiritual. Spiritual, it's lasting. And when you have a value, it lasts a whole lot longer. It controls the reason why you do things. Then you establish your goals because of what you value. Then ultimately, you have behavior that will cause you to accomplish your goals, and your goals have been established because of what you value. Let me give you an example. A value will be this: I want to be an honest person. Value. You can't point to honesty. Honesty is spiritual. That's what it is. It's spiritual. I want to be a person of good character. That's spiritual. I value being a loving person. I value being integral. I value being a forgiving person. I value being a successful individual. These are things that are values. Now, so when you have a value, then you need to set goals. So let's say this value. Number one, I value being a good parent. All right. Now, this is going to get you. Can I accomplish being a good parent using this drug, this alcohol, this food, the gambling, whatever it is? Would that equal a good parent? Well, let's use food. If I have eaten and I become so unhealthy and I've gained so much weight that I can't be there for my children, then I want to be a good parent, but I can't be a good parent because my behavior doesn't match my value. So in order to be a good parent, the next thing you have to have is this. Then I'm going to do this. Goal: provide for my family spiritually, naturally, emotionally. That's what I'm going to be to my children. For my family, I'm going to be a provider. I'm going to be a provider for my family spiritually. I'm going to be a provider for my family naturally in everyday needs. And I'm going to be a great provider emotionally. So how am I going to accomplish that? This is it. I'm going to teach my children, first of all, the best I can, how to have a relationship with God. That's the first thing I'm going to do. That's a behavior. What is that behavior is going to accomplish? It's going to accomplish the goal of being a good influence to provide for my family spiritually, because I want to be a good parent. Second thing I'm going to do, I'm going to work honestly, an honest job or a business, or I'm going to going to college. I'm going to get greater knowledge because I want a career. I want a business. I want something that I can provide for my family the natural needs that they have. So then I that's the behavior. I start going to school, getting a job, doing this because I want to provide naturally. Then emotionally. So then I want to love them. Now, this is what I love. It says this: prove to my children that I will love them through every mistake, and then I'll celebrate them in every one of their accomplishments. So now you're doing, listen to that. Now you are doing everything that you need to be a good parent. That's the behavior. Now, drugs and alcohol, gambling, overeating, whatever you become addicted to, it will take everything from you and not allow you to be a good parent. So when you have that value and you put it on the inside, it's building a defense against addiction. Building a defense. Building a defense. Number two, listen to this. Number three, establish a plan to accomplish something daily. If you want to build a defense against addiction, you have to establish something to accomplish daily. Don't let the day go by without setting a goal, setting plans, saying what you're going to do. Today, I'm going to read the Bible. When I get up in the morning, 15 minutes every day. Today, I'm going to cut the grass. Today, I'm going to set up a budget, and then I'm going to follow the budget. I'm going to have disciplines in my life. If you begin to do something daily and discipline yourself in your life, then it will build a defense against addiction, because addiction is characterized by no self-control and no disciplines. Yes, that's ultimately what it wants to do. It wants to become God to you, to your life, and it wants to dictate when you do it, how you do it, and your mind is consumed by thinking about the drug or whatever behavior all the time. It is insatiable. It will never be satisfied until it gets all of your attention, until finally it takes everything, your money, your relationships, your children, and ultimately your health, ultimately your life. Okay? So number three, you gotta have some disciplines. Number four, start your day. This is it. Building it. Start your day with some positive affirmations. Yeah, I'm telling you, positive affirmations will set you up to accomplish great things, and it will become a defense against addiction. Listen, I will accomplish this task today. I believe in myself. I mean, you would stand in the mirror and get 5 to 10 of these and say them to yourself every day. I will do what I plan to do today. Stand in the mirror and say, I'm unstoppable. I'm proud of the changes that I've made. I trust the way my path is unfolding. I am happy, and I deserve to be happy, and I'm going to be happy because I am happy. Woo, good God Almighty. When you start talking to yourself like that, when you start saying great and positive things about yourself, do you understand what happens? What happens at that moment is you unlock the potential of positive words, because words are spiritual. The Bible says, heaven and earth will pass away, but my word is spiritual. Jesus said, my word is spirit and they are life. When Jesus was on the earth, he says, what I'm going to give to you are my words. And if you get my words, then you can live. Do you understand how powerful words are? Words don't die when people do. There are concepts that you say and that you live that, hear me, that words will not die when people die. They'll live on beyond you. And finally, I want you to hear this. The final thing you can do is maintain contact with positive people in your life. If you want a defense against addiction, make sure your friends, make sure your mentors, make sure the people you trust are people you want to be like. The most important choices you will ever make in life is, one, what church you're going to. Yeah. Does it feed you? Does it train you? Does it teach you how to be a better person? Number two, who you marry or who you're dating. Because that person will get to see you and influence your life tremendously. That person you're dating, or your wife, your husband, whatever it is, your significant other, they either will build you up or they'll take you down. And then the last thing, it is your friends. Your friends influence you more than anyone in your life. The people you hang out with on a consistent daily basis. I guarantee you, if you were using, you were using with someone else that was using. And when you were strong enough to not fall into the hole of addiction, the foxhole of addiction, it's because somebody helped you that's not using or in active addiction. Well, I hope this lesson has helped you. I hope that you need this, and you will. I hope that it takes your life to a whole nother